time for Quick Crafts. I'm Miss Caroline, and today we are making cootie catcher or fortune teller puppets. You can see I made a shark beforehand, so I'm going to show you how to make an easy frog next. So for this craft, you will need a piece of paper, any kind. Alright, so the first thing you'll need to do is make a square with your piece of paper. If you already have something like origami paper at home that's already square, that's perfect, but if you don't, this is how you can make a square. So you can either get a ruler and measure it out, or you gotta make sure you're very precise with this or else it's not gonna turn out well at all. So you have to make sure your edges, so I'm gonna take the edges that meet in a right angle, and I'm going to meet those edges to each other with the crease being in the corner. So I'm going to try to get it as close to perfect as I can. So usually I say if you mess up it's fine, but when folding paper and making origami you kind of have to be as careful as you can. Alright, so I folded it. I'm going to make a crease. And then you don't necessarily need to make a line, but I'm going to make a line on my paper so you guys can see. I'm going to cut off this rectangle. So it's kind of the excess paper. And once I cut that off, I'm going to have a square on this side. Okay, so I have my square, and I already have one crease on my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and meet the corner that has a crease in it to the other corner that has a crease in it. And then make a crease, so that will make a crease between this corner and the other. Alright, so now we have a nice X with a dot in the middle there. So I'm going to make all my corners meet to the dot in the center. So, yes, I make it meet in the dot in the center. So when I fold all my corners in, I'm going to try to make it so that my sides don't overlap, because if they overlap, then it's going to make it hard for this to open and move when we get finished. So I'm going to do that for all four sides. Okay, and then, so I have all of it folded in, looks like a little package. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing again. So I have four corners. I'm going to make them all meet in the middle at the center X. X marks the spot. Fold it towards the dot. See, I didn't fold that well, so it kind of made a weird crease, so I'm going to go back and try to fix it a little bit. And it didn't work out perfectly. I'm going to So we've got that. So this is the tricky part, is getting it so that you can get your fingers to go through. So I find the easiest way is to just let it sit on the table and then stick my fingers in. And if you fold it together, it kind of naturally just goes the way you need it to. All right, so now I have my fortune teller, so you can either go that way and make your fortune teller. But we're going to make a puppet. So I think a frog's going to do well for this. So if I had a pencil, that would probably be better, but Miss Caroline didn't think ahead today. So I'm kind of going to lightly outline where I want my eyes to be and where I want the tongue to be in the frog, and then I'll open it and draw it darker so you can see it. So kind of want it to be in the center. So I just lightly draw it and have it go on the other side too. Okay, and so our mouth, it's going to stay like that, so I'm just going to draw, I'm going to have this tongue just go straight across. We don't need to do anything fancy. Okay, so of course when I let it go, it's not going to look like the puppet at all, but that's why I made my outline, that way I can tell where to make my marks at. So I unfold it. So if you have googly eyes at home, this would be a great thing to use them for. I'm just going to draw some eyes, so let's see. I'm gonna make them like anime eyes. So I'm gonna make a little sparkle in the corner, another one right there, and color it in. It's a long time to color in with a pen, but that's what I had, so it's what I'm using. All right, and we will do the same thing on the other side. Okay. All right. So I have my eyes. Now to do the mouth. Okay. So where's my tongue lines? Okay. So he is going to have a black tongue because I don't have a red pen. But that's okay. We'll just say that he ate a lot of flies, or like frosting on a fly cake, because that definitely turns your mouth funny colors. Okay, and the other little triangle. And of course, if I didn't have green paper, I could have just colored my paper green with the crayon and then gone back over it and glued eyes to it. But so I made a frog-ish. So you can make something as simple as this or as fancy as this. You could even glue little fins to it. You could put googly eyes on it. Just have fun with it. Use your imagination. And let's see, next week we're doing nature collages. So for that, I think you will need, what do you think, Sharky? I think we're going to need some nature scraps. So tree bark, leaves, grass, whatever you find outside, and some glue and paper, scissors, and a pencil too. But that's what we're